Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with kind of a special layout. Today happens to be my 13th wedding anniversary. So the layout today is going to focus on photos from our 12th anniversary last year. I just thought it was so fun that our anniversary fell on a day that I usually upload a video for you guys, and so I figured what better way to kind of remember our anniversary than to scrapbook last year's. I am using the Memory Lane collection from Close to My Heart. This is a special for the month of July, and seeing as this is the last day of July, make sure if you are interested in this collection, you get your hands on it, because once it sells out, it is gone for good. And quite possibly it might be limited at this point already, just because it's so gorgeous. I love this. So I am going to use the house paper around the outside and then add, I don't know if it's peach or melon. I'm thinking it's melon because it's a little bit darker. I'm going to add that for my background color. Usually I will stick with white, and initially kind of wanted a white base. But I did want a distinguished line between my pattern paper on the inside and that pattern paper on the outside. The reason I decided to use the house paper is because we stayed at the same bed and breakfast last year that we stayed at on our honeymoon. And that's what these photos are. So the two photos are of our delicious breakfasts. And then the other photo that I kind of have covered up because we wrote our city on it, is our journal entry from our honeymoon into that guest book. We stayed in the exact same room. And so it was really fun to go back and find our entry from our honeymoon. And I believe, I didn't take a picture of it. I should have, but I believe we added to that one on the bottom, and we just dated it, last year. So just really fun memories, a great way to spend our anniversary in the same place we spent our honeymoon, or part of our honeymoon. So I am just going to kind of layer those photos towards the top. I did double back the top two in the honey butter, and then the bottom one I backed in again, I think it's melon. I did the dark side of the melon, and I'm glad I did because I didn't really realize it would butt up with the background paper of the melon color. If you don't know, Close to My Heart's cardstock is the same color but different shades. So one side is a little bit darker than the other side, which I think is great, especially when things like this, if they're going to butt up together, there's just a slight variation, and I really like that. So you can see that I ripped that sage paper, and then I ended up ripping just a few smaller sheets of that floral paper. That is the background, or the back side of the house paper. I just wanted to bring some florals in because I am going to use some stamping and some other products, I guess, that are going to be retiring at the end of August. So I kind of wanted just to showcase those. This is not one of them. This is the Stitched Alpha, I think. And I wanted to have my title 12 years later. I wish that 12 would have been bigger. However, I don't have a stamp that's bigger, and the irresistible letters here don't have numbers. So I am kind of sad that they didn't have numbers. Otherwise, everything would be universal, same size and same font. But with these irresistibles, this is one of the products that is going to be gone at the end of August. So definitely get your hands on it if you are interested. What it is they are alpha stickers. There's also cardstock, and they have a pattern on them that when blended, and you don't just have to use blending, you can use markers, lots of different options for these. But when you blend them, you can actually wipe the letters and the pattern on the paper will show up. So right now you can't really tell, but these are polka dot. Once I am done here, I'm actually going to use a wet wipe, and it's one that I had been using, so it wasn't super wet, but I wipe it off, and the ink that was on the polka dots wipes right off. And so now the letters are polka dotted. So I decided to use blending, and the top and the bottom I did different colors. Obviously you could do the same color, but again, there is paper that is irresistible paper as well. And those ones, if I can remember, I haven't used them in a very long time. I think there's flower, diagonal stripes, probably polka dots, lots of different designs. So I'll try to find those and link them down below, as well as these irresistible letters as well. This comes in a 2-pack. There's the polka dots and there is the diagonal stripe, I believe, as well. So I'm kind of placing my title here. My title's 12 years later. Because the font is so tall or large, I had to abbreviate years. And again, I really wish that 12 was larger. I might have to end up finding something in my stash that'll do that's a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to go to my stamps. Not a lot of the stickers on the sticker sheet kind of go with what I wanted this layout, I guess the vibe of the layout to be. So I went to my stash and found, I think this is the Floral Sentiments stamp and thin cuts. And again, this is also a product I believe that is going away at the end of August. So I think this is just a great floral stamp. So many different options with this floral stamp, and I'm not going to make you watch me stamp them all, but I am going to stamp some of the flowers, different colors, some greenery, and then I love thin cuts because I don't really love fussy cutting, and so the thin cuts just make that so much easier. So I just line the thin cuts up right on the stamped image, tape them down with some washi tape, and then run them through my Big Shot, and voila, I have my embellishments now. So now I kind of just had to figure out how I wanted to place them, where I wanted to place them. Again, I did cut some greenery, so I did include some of that as well. I am using peach, melon, honey butter, and then I don't have the Close to My Heart sage, but I have the Distress Oxide bundled sage, and it's pretty close. It is a little bit greener maybe. There is, now that I have like that greenery on that sage paper, there was quite a distinction, but not enough for me to kind of stray away from using the bundled sage. So now I'm just trying to finish off the layout. I did add some of the smaller stickers into the center of the flowers just to give it a little bit more color as well. And then I just kind of had to figure out, I wanted to spice up the bottom a little bit more. You know, I have the 2 clusters at the top, and I just wanted to use something else on the bottom. So I grabbed my Setting the Scene stamp that is in the July and August catalog, so that should still be available, and there are some dotted lines, and I'm going to use those dotted lines as my journaling. So I just wanted them on the melon paper. I did the melon ink on the melon, and so because I didn't want it on the house paper, I just added a scrap piece of paper for any of the excess ink there. So again, now that I have that done, I know that I'll journal, but just again wanted something to spruce up the bottom a little bit more. So I did go back to the sticker sheet, and there were a couple of smaller circular stickers, and so I am going to add a couple to the top left of the title, and then the bottom right of the journaling spot, I'm going to add just another small one. I needed, or wanted, I guess it's not a need, I wanted a third piece in my clusters, and so I did go into my stash. These are the freshly baked enamel shapes, and I don't know if they are available still or not. However, I did find that those worked nicely color-wise for this layout. So I did add a couple of hearts to each of those smaller clusters at the bottom, and then still felt like the top needed a little bit more. So I did go back to that Floral Sentiments stamp set and decided to stamp right on my layout. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking, especially because I had to rip up the flowers and then make sure I had the, the greenery in the right space while I stamp directly on the layout. But that is going to finish off this layout. So again, this collection will go off special this month, today actually. So definitely get your hands on it if you are interested. And I will link the other products, the Irresistible Letters and the Floral Sentiments stamp and thin cuts down below for you as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.